this. Is there anything you want the fans to know or any last thing you want to say to them before we get to see this series tonight?
This is where the fun begins.
Happy New Year, y'all. Is it 2024? It is 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the new year. The new year of Jedi Mike 7 Movie New Show. And we are back. We're back, y'all. We're back. We're back. Happy New Year, y'all. You can't see me. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Happy New Year to you guys. I hope you guys can hear me and see me. Like, you are a black screen. What do you mean I'm a black screen? You can't see me? How? What? How can you see me? Okay. That's weird. That's weird. Let me see. I'm trying to check in the back check. See, struggle streaming already. Enemy, you will not stop me today. No, sir. You will not. You will not. Anyway, shout out to people in the chat. I'm going to see I get some technical difficulty out the way. Shout out to Marcus Evans in the building. Shout out to Marcus Evans. Shout out to D, the degenerate. Thank you for stopping by. Shout out to our man, Wally. Wally's in the building. Yeah, we will not stop. We will not stop. I don't know why I have technical difficulties, but hopefully you guys can hear me. If you can hear me now, yeah, all right. Okay, it shows the avatar, but you still can't see me. All right. Well, until I get this situated, wait for my co-host to come back here, y'all. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Again, this is the new year, 2024. And we have a lot to discuss about. We have a lot discussed this year of last year, actually, of the year of 2023. I know people want to leave it high and dry. We're just going to recap it and actually see some ways that from previous Marvel films that they can actually improve and learn from their mistakes, because obviously this entire year of 2023 was the year Marvel realized, Houston, we have a problem. Yep, we have a problem. And as you can see, guys, we've had a lot of hit and misses with this entire franchise, as you may see. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating. You don't know what type of projects is promising or anything like that. And people in the chat right now, you can just tell me if you like anything in Marvel 2023, some more than others. Obviously, you see here Loki Season 2, The Marvels. We got Echo, which is actually coming out tomorrow. Shout out to my Founders Day of 587 Attorney Incorporated. Yeah, that's coming out our Founders Day tomorrow, Echo. And but before, and we also got Marvel's What If as well. Oh, somebody's in the back. Somebody's in the back. Ladies and gentlemen, bring out my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, D. J. King. What's going on, man?
Was good. See, we're already starting off the year of technical difficulties, huh?
Yeah, you can't. Okay, I just turned my camera on. You can't see me?
No, you are a black screen, like you are a black screen without the avatar.
Okay, because I see myself and I see fine. So, well, okay, all right. Well, we'll just keep going. We'll keep going on. Anyway, but yeah. So, how was your Christmas? How was your New Year's?
I mean, as good as you can be when you get a little under the weather during the holidays, but otherwise, I was fine.
Oh yeah. By the way, shout out to folks that were getting sick, y'all. Because this year was that coronavirus was coming out, was going out.
Mhm.
Everybody was getting hit. All of a sudden, you get a little cough, and then all of a sudden they said you got the Rona and everything, and also like that. And then one person has it, and all of a sudden the whole family has it. And I know when I was having a cough and I was, getting all like feeling weak in my bones and everything, my wife and my mother was
My
like,
God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Wait.
Everybody calm down. No.
yeah, I mean, no pun intended. They were acting like that. But shout out to my wife, my amazing wife. Took care of me and everything, and got me back to my full strength and everything. And I'm okay. I'm okay. So, yeah. But again, the show must go on. But as we go into 2024, we got to look back at 2023 of Marvel. And this goes into our segment, which is one that's most famously popular, known as What's New in the MCU. Yep, and we're back, y'all. So yeah, I'm gonna start with you, J. King, first. What have been your thoughts on as I get my camera situated before we actually break down bit by bit in terms of all of Marvel 2023 and the way we're gonna be structuring this live stream, y'all. Make sure you guys give your opinions in the chat. We'll bring you guys' feedback up as well. We're going to be going over the movies and Disney Plus shows of 2023. That includes all the way from starting of Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumania. Yes, that started in 2023. When it started a lot of things in March 2023 for some people. And then get into I believe was it Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the conclusion of that entire franchise, at least with that team set of characters, before James Gunn goes to DC Universe and basically play God and hopefully rebirth a new age of DC films to his rightful glory. And then we had not Spider-Verse, because that's Sony, even though that's the best comic movie of the year. We also have I believe Secret Invasion, that Disney Plus series. That was a tragedy. But anyway, and some mixed feelings from people, and we'll get into it. And we also have Loki season 2, the GOAT, the best character arc in Disney Plus series of all time to date, in terms of Marvel, and possibly a conclusion to that character, and possibly the Kang storyline, because they wrapped it up with the bow, and now this dude sitting in the tree of life and watching over the multiverse behind this dude, the Watcher, as you see in the background. And then we also get the Marvels. Yes, the Marvels, which I know everybody's fan favorite. Yes, Marvels. I know everybody's fan favorite. You like that there, but yes, and then we get the conclusion of the animated series What If season 2. Every day leading up to Christmas, we have an episode per day leading up to season 2, and then that wraps up 2023 of Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, J. King, what was your thoughts on Marvel 2023? The good, the bad, and the ugly.
I mean, I'm not gonna act like there wasn't a lot of problems this year when it just came to the on-screen and behind the scenes of many of these projects that we got. There was a lot of them that we were expecting to be great, and there was a lot of them that people weren't really expecting much of that turned out to be what was great. Um, in my honest opinion, I mean, for the most part, I enjoyed the year. I enjoyed what we got for the most part. Some projects more than others. Uh, yeah, it. I wouldn't. How do I phrase this? I would say that this definitely was a very critical year for the studio, both for the universe that they have and the behind the scenes workings of said universe. A lot of goods and a lot of bads. It was a very mixed year. There were good projects, there were great projects, and then there were projects that weren't critically received as well as some others. So and in my opinion, I still had fun. And there were definitely a lot of projects that came out this year that I would definitely say are some of my favorites, but very mixed. Like in general. Yes, we see you.
Okay, great. You see the sexy face and everything. You see the beard glistening. You see the fresh fade. The way, well, I gotta put my wave cream back on because I just got a haircut. You know how it goes. You gotta turn your hair back. But you see the turtleneck and everything. You see me in my full glory.
Yeah, we see you. You're just very 290p.
Yeah. Okay, that's what. All right. Cool. We back. We back, y'all. Cool. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I mean, I basically said what I said is like, in my honest opinion, I still had fun with what came out this year. I still had fun with a lot of the projects that we had, but I won't front and not act like this wasn't a very mixed year in terms of the content we had. A lot of good, some great, but then some, not received as well. And maybe some overblown in that not received as well, but very much some meh. Some good, some great, and some meh. That's what I can say.
Yeah. I think to this year is a case study for a lot of films in the movie industry, whether that might be for Disney, whether it might be for Marvel, might be for comic book industry in general, where it might goes into the topic of superhero fatigue, where it talks about mediocre fatigue. Oh, we're done with the multiverse. Oh, hey, we're just done with Marvel as a brand. There, it's going, it's going woke.
I unsubscribed, by the way. I unsubscribed.
We're not going to say any particular content creator's name out here. We're just going to focus.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying.
I understand. I understand. People, again, making content over some stuff, but yeah, people calling, the MCU now. We got these female characters going agendas, whatever it might be, or hey, it might be the writing. If the writing is just now gone down the drain, so what's going on? Well, I can tell you again, it's not multiverse fatigue. It's not superhero fatigue. It's mediocre fatigue. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that over the years, we have had a sense of consistency throughout Marvel, and we have seen the consistent trend, whether it might be the Infinity Saga, with the Iron Man films, Captain America films, each film, hey, regardless, this film could be at least decent or great. That's what's been consistent in the momentum of the Marvel universe, to the point that they've been dropping down billion-dollar movies for back-to-back in a given year, right? Started with, I believe, Black Panther. Black Panther started with making $1 billion in the box office. Then right after that, then goes into Avengers Infinity War, making $1 billion. Then the first Captain Marvel, also $1 billion. Then go to Avengers Endgame, another $1 billion. And then even a Sony film right after Avengers Endgame, which was Spider-Man Far From Home, also made $1 billion. And then you get into now the last Marvel movie that has ever made $1 billion, still staying on topic of Spider-Man, which is Spider-Man No Way Home, which is the last Marvel film to date has crossed the $1 billion mark. Almost made $2 billion, but it was still surviving the pandemic. And that film I felt was rightly needed at that time. And we might have that moment we felt in that theater almost 2 or 3 years ago. We might have that moment again just in a couple of months with another film. Hopefully, we shall see. But that's what I feel is that it's been mediocre fatigue because, again, there's been a consistent trend of storylines, and not only the fact that you've introduced so many different characters, you also get to a point where you've also basically lacked the consistency of making this a continuing thread. You're making this a television series now, but the fact that streaming services have been going up the roof, and especially the price has been going up, now the people have the option where I don't have to no longer go to the movie theater anymore. I don't have to go to movie theater opening day and watch this film when I could just wait a couple of weeks, maybe a month if it's bad, and to get on Disney Plus, and then I can save my money, and then I can bring all my close friends and stuff like that. But before I do that, I can just go watch YouTube videos of people who did see the movie and did trash on the movie, and then I take that biases because I trust them. I believe, hey, if they didn't like it, I didn't like it, and then we speak for our dollar more than our voices and stuff. So again, the studios don't listen to your voice. They don't listen to YouTube videos. They listen to your dollar. So you speak with that, they will hear you. And they heard you. They have heard you this year, whether they like it or not. And I feel, again, as someone who, we all grew up, basically with these, films and stuff. There's also a conversation to say that we probably have outgrown the franchise. You might have to do more mature stories because you're now the audience with your character now 14-year-olds or 12-year-olds. Well, they're now in their 20s. They're now in their late, getting in their mid to late 20s now. Come to think of it, right? They've been on over 10 years. And now it's getting to a point where that same appetite that used to feed me is no longer feeding me anymore. And that's not really an also knock on Marvel for something that they're doing. It's just the fact that that's just what the test of time always proved to you. There was people who like Western movies in the 60s, whatever, with the Clint Eastwood movies, right? My dad liked those movies, but guess what? They get picked on in school for liking cowboy movies and Westerns, and all of a sudden everybody making Western movies. Elvis is making Western movies, and guess what? That phase moved right along because then nobody cared about Western movies anymore, and that phase of cinema is over, and then you get one or two, couple of Westerns there, then there and there. And not the fact that the genre is going to die, it's going to change, it's going to evolve, right? I always think there are always going to be Spider-Man movies. There's always going to be Batman movies. And then soon there's going to be more X-Men movies, as there always have been. And it's getting to a point now with these characters, if it's not Batman, Spider-Man, or X-Men, nobody cares anymore. And because now it's getting to a point where either we have to establish to the fan base, hey, we need you to care about these characters again, right? The fact that you have the ability to be fully invested in a talking tree, walking tree and a talking raccoon, in Guardians of the Galaxy, and make us fully invested into it, right? And yet we cannot get invested in 3 female characters in the Marvels, who 2 of them I absolutely love. No. If you cannot have a tentpole film now where here we're going into the next phase, and now people's like, Disney as a whole, I don't need to see this anymore. And as a brand, Disney is falling. Before I'm getting to the next point here, I want to shout out to Mike Entertainment, another content creator. Hope you have a good day, man. Shout out to him. We had collaborated on, I actually did a Marvel's review on this channel and everything. Make sure you guys go check that out. Good content creator. Make sure you guys go follow him. Also, shout out to Hink in the building, Hink in the basement. Shout out to him. Listen, I didn't know how to fact. Shout out to Louisville, Kentucky, by the way. Yeah, we had a great conversation on a stream on his platform, I think a couple of weeks ago, right for Christmas. Another comic book head, he got pop figures all around him and everything. But I love his perspective and good content creator and really good man. Make sure you guys check out Hank in the basement. But yeah, and that's why I kind of feel that's where the current state of Marvel is going, but also the fact of, hey, your appetite is changing. And what is feeding people right now? More serious tone stories, having more darker storylines, more convincing and shocking ways of character development and building them up. Also, sex is increasing, violence is increasing, blood is increasing. All of a sudden now, here you go. We go from Superman and and Captain America and Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man and stuff. And now, after all these characters we thought they were going to be big as life, now all of a sudden they get knocked out of the way after one freaking character, or actually one property. And that property is Invincible. And The Boys. Just knocking them out the way. Everybody loved Invincible, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. I mean, I tell you, I can't get enough. What about you, J. King?
Well, I mean, look, you guys have seen multiple times on here that talking about this kind of stuff has gone from fun to just, it's hard to, again, especially being somebody who's been there since the beginning. And I also have to say, when the past year was coming to an end, and I was thinking about the projects we have and the reception people have been having and all that, I started to basically classify it as, how, for example, the Star Wars trilogy. We had the original trilogy, the prequels, and the sequels. The original trilogy, that was just all that there was at that time. That's all anybody knew, and any concepts and everything built there, people just had to accept that because that was how the world was. Then you get to the sequels and the prequels, and there's always the case of like, okay, if one way ended one way, and if these certain things were laid out, when it comes to any stories that come after, or any stories that you want to tell before, you have to give us a reason to, why does this exist? I know a lot of people like to go, is this necessary? But it's more so the fact of, people are used to or have expectations. And after the Infinity Saga, after Endgame and Far From Home, everyone had expectations of how things were supposed to go, because that's all we had for those 10 years. Anything that was introduced around that time, we accepted it. Especially for newer people that didn't read the comics, we accepted it. That's all that there was. Come Phase 4, and so far as we have been with Phase 5, there have been a lot of new concepts, a lot of new people, a lot of new characters, a lot of new realms, multiversal stuff, everything that connects from one property to another, even that can cross properties within live action and animation, from the likes of strictly MCU to also Sony Marvel stuff, to Fox X-Men stuff from the old stuff. And it's like, while there's a lot of good concepts there, it's almost in a similar stance of why everything is so divisive now, as it was with the Star Wars sequels and prequels. Because if you have things go a certain way, people have expectations. And if those expectations are not met or elevated, or you give people a reason to why these things are going this way, then that's why people have been the way that they have been when it comes to Marvel since the beginning of Phase 4. It's not that many of these concepts couldn't work. The likes of Multiverse of Madness, What If, Kang, the Spider-Verse and everything that has been going on, even the stuff that doesn't have to deal with the multiverse and the more street level or origins of new characters can work. It's just that it's almost like that one line in the first Fantastic Four film, the one with Chris Evans, where it's like, that's old school. Show us something new. That's the line I'm giving for it right now. That's how people's feelings are to it right now. If it is not giving them a good reason to be invested, or if it's not giving them a good reason to why things have changed, you see why people have not cared anymore. I've seen many people who were so enthralled in this universe just give up on it. There are some people that aren't going to watch a single show or movie anymore. There are some people that are just going to wait for everything to drop on Disney Plus, or again, the type of people that are on the internet that are just going to, and again, similar to Star Wars, just say that everything is woke now.
Emotional damage.
And that, again, because also over the past year, I was looking back at the Star Wars films and the prequels and sequels, as well as the Disney Plus series that we have gotten, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, all that. And most of the instant reactions from when those happened sound very, very similar to what we are having right now with the MCU. Yes, there are many problems that are happening behind the scenes when it comes to the way that people, before the strikes and everything, and even after the strikes a little bit, how people have been paid, workers and all that. And of course, the recent sting with Jonathan Majors, which heck, that also talking about that real quick. He had a whole interview and everything on ABC today. Go check it out, to get his perspective on everything. But even moving away from that,
Yeah.
the conversation is really, if you're going to change things up, if you're going to introduce new concepts, you have to do it in a way that people are not going to care. Otherwise, that people are going to care. Otherwise, they're not going to, or they're going to lose interest. And then that's just how things will go. It was like that for the prequels and the sequels in Star Wars, and it is similarly to that. Phase 1 through 3 was the original trilogy. Phase 4, 5, and 6 are either prequel or sequel. I say more sequel, and that's just how people have been reacting to it. And it's going to be also, in terms of thinking about that, it's going to be crazy to see people's like years from now looking back at Phase 4 and 5 and being like, was it really that bad that we had to get angry over it? Like, it's going to be a very interesting question to have years from now.
Yeah.
But
yeah. let's get right into it, right? Because again, we're gonna be going over the recap, of terms of the last year. So we're actually gonna start with the first film that started this whole year off into shambles, whatever you want to call it, right? And also, I want to make it clear that this conversation is nothing personal. We are very passionate people. We'll have love and respect for each other, especially my co-host and I. So we're very passionate on our stance, and we're not holding back because this is good. We're very passionate about this, and both of us have the intention. We want this company and this IP to succeed. But either way, we come from two opposite sides of the spectrum. I have now kind of turned. Some people might say the dark side, whatever, or the realistic side. Who knows? We're gonna get into it. But yes, and we're gonna give all of our grievances and stuff and our reasons why. Hey, this film isn't as bad as we thought it is, or like, no, this is a piece of garbage film. But yeah, let's get into it. Speaking of Jonathan Majors, you saw that Good Morning America interview happening. Came out today, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. More information later. We'll be breaking that down. I think in another day, because again, there's still stuff that's coming out throughout this week and stuff like that. But yeah,
plus an extended version of that interview is gonna drop like an hour ago. So who knows if more information is dropped by the time we're done here.
Right. So let's talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. All right. I think this was the film that started it, but it wasn't. Some people believe this is the film that started it all with the whole, what the people call it, agenda, or hey, this is the decline of Marvel brand going down the window. And no, it wasn't. It was the catalyst, I think, that first when you brought your main villain, Kang the Conqueror, which is Jonathan Majors in that top left corner, and we realized that he gets defeated by a bunch of ants, right? To me, I felt this was a big, opportunity for them to establish Kang as a villain. And much as we saw him previously in Loki season 1 as a variant, he remains, and actually setting a foundation for us to come. I felt the film that started it was, to me, Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, where it's like, wait, what's going on here? You're not adding points here. And then when it was Ant-Man who had the villain of this entire saga in Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumania with Kang the Conqueror, and we saw what they did with his character, I got very frustrated. I thought the visual effects of this film was awful, especially going with MODOK and other characters and stuff like this, entirely green screen. And I also think a missed opportunity in terms of having dramatic weight. Scott Lang should have died in this movie. If not, at least just try to maybe have him stuck in the quantum realm or something like that, right? Even in the comics, the fact that Cassie Lang is a pivotal character to Young Avengers and tied to Kang storyline, with that entire team, and just I feel like a missed opportunity where they could have had more, gave her more emotional development to why she wants to defeat Kang. Because of her father. Because again, Ant-Man or Scott Lang is directly involved I think in the I forgot what the name of the storyline is, but when he died in Avengers mansion in the comics, and basically Cassie had to go avenge his death, you know, and stuff like that, and dive with Kang the Conqueror and all stuff like that. So there's a whole bunch of things that in the comics that they did not really incorporate here. For example, the Wasp really had no arc in this movie at all. The decision that Cassie just every freaking character now it just has a PhD in science and can open realms in the quantum realm and stuff like that. And you're in freaking high school. I understand we want to push them. I love it. I'm in it. I get you. Whatever. But not every character got to be a genius, because then once a genius pops on the screen, then nobody will be a genius because everyone is. Everyone got a PhD in neural astrophysics. Everybody, right? And all of a sudden, here we go, have Reed Richards show up when he does come up, and he's not even the freaking smartest person in the Marvel universe, because we got 6 other people who are smart as hell in this damn franchise. No, come on. But J. King, I'll just leave my grievances on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Then at the end, also, we get the reveal of the Council of Kangs, right? Which is then setting up Kang Dynasty, but still not really giving any type of connection to what we saw in Loki season 1, even though we see the sacred timeline and the multiversal streams and stuff like that. Still was not in a way that actually gave us a clear direction and answers in terms of what's next. And I felt, to me, kind of very annoyed of like, okay, this character should have been in a different film with been a different type of villain for a different character, and have the Council of Kangs another scene to incorporate what's coming and how big of a threat he is. But J. King, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, this film had a lot to be desired. I think the big problem was trying to tell, not that an Ant-Man story couldn't be serious,
Right.
just that with the way that the Ant-Man films were set up before, the Ant-Man films, a lot of people love to riff on them, but they were made to be enjoyable films with an enjoyable character. You remember the first 2 for the fun, lovable action that happened, even though it did have family stakes within it. You remember it for the fun, lovable stuff that you had in it. And then boom, you turn the third one into basically the setup for the rest of the phase. And yes, I understand we had Kang's, city teased in Ant-Man and the Wasp. We know we all saw that in that sequel film post Infinity War. So I understand that, okay, yeah, the seeds were there, but since time travel was pretty much opened up to the rest of the group after Endgame, anybody could have, even if you did incorporate Ant-Man into it, anybody could have been the one to found the city and face off against a version of Kang within that quantum realm. Even if you did incorporate Ant-Man in a way, which, okay, yes, again, they found it there. There was still a way to incorporate him. It's just that, yes, it maybe should have been a different hero to face him. Who? Maybe Strange, maybe Wanda, maybe somebody else. Who knows at this point? What's done is done. This movie already came out. And for me, this movie is very mixed. There are a lot of parts I like about this film, and that there are a lot of parts that I don't like about this film. And sadly, the dislikes kind of overweigh the likes in this. There's still a lot that I can like, especially in the terms of, certain ways certain characters acted. And the VFX, while not the greatest, some parts look good, but yes, for the most part look bad. I give this movie had potential, but fumbled. Not that this type of story couldn't work, just maybe with a different character. Even if you did include Ant-Man, maybe with a different character, and maybe with a different type of story. I think if this film was not Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and you had it as somebody else, Quantumania, facing off against Kang, even if you had Ant-Man be included in it, since again, his sequel film found the city in the first place, I think that it would have been a lot better. Right.
And well, I got to say, this film, the one things that did had it for it was, this man right here, Jonathan Majors, which, confirmed this is his last appearance as Kang the Conqueror. He was saving grace this film, but again, couldn't save it from box office failure or critical, claim and all. Even though everyone said that he was the best part of the movie, which he was, but again, it's only testament of actor that he is to carry this film as much as he could on his shoulders. But yeah, as of now, this is his last Marvel film, and the next time we see Kang the Conqueror, it will not be this black man right here.
Nope.
But yeah, and but again, I also had an issue with the fact of not even just say a word for Ant-Man, right? Because it's the talking about the show don't tell, because the fact that he's saying I have killed Avengers before. Are we gonna see that? No. Right. Hey, have you, are you not the one with the hammer, right? I've killed Thor before, whatever. We can see that. No, I've killed countless Avengers. I am Kang. I am Kang.
And
Right,
here's the thing. Like, I understand that assembling some of these guys, even for like one scene, but there's a thing called extras, or people that you don't have to show the face of, but you can still see that it's Thor or Cap or somebody. Like, you showed so many flashbacks of him attacking cities. I would have liked to have seen him attack some heroes, even if we don't see the face, we can still tell who it is.
Right. And you know who? Well, I'm trying to see. Let me see. I'm trying to get this picture right here, because when you say that, I think of basically one I think show that actually did it correctly in terms of teasing how big of a threat a multiversal character is. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find it. Where is he at? Right. I'll say it's on CW. It's the Smallville. Crisis on Infinite Earths. When they were trying to do their whole multiversal conclusion and everything, they basically had a scene where you saw a bunch of actors in suits, basically, I should say, from different TV shows that we saw in all DC TV, Superman and Lois, The Flash, Arrow, Smallville, Birds of Prey that got canceled, all this stuff, we saw that, right? And they basically had a scene where you saw a whole bunch of dead characters from all the multiverse, but yet you saw was it not a
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It wasn't Crisis, but it was the event before Crisis Elseworlds, the one scene where there was a bunch of dead heroes, and then the John Wesley ship Flash, we do see him, and then you see the Monitor, like that scene. I know what you're talking about, but yeah, a scene like that would have worked.
Yeah, because that they kept showing that in every episode leading up to that event. I'm trying to let me see. Yeah, I can't find where the scene of the dead heroes at. But
I mean, if you type in like the CW Elseworlds crossover, maybe you might find it, because like that, it wasn't in the crossover, but it was leading up to it.
Yeah, no, but I have this scene right here. This is the scene we're talking about. Is that this is where John Wesley ship Flash is the Flash, the older TV show. He came back to play Barry Allen's father, but in that scene, you saw a whole bunch of dead characters from different TV shows representing. Oh yeah, he's been killing everybody in different universes. This is what Kang should have been doing, right? Just simple as that. In my opinion, just like, keep it short, keep it simple. That's it.
Like one or two scenes of that would have been perfectly fine to get it across to the audience, especially for those who didn't watch Loki. That would have gotten that would have gotten the message across to the audience. If a scene like that existed in Quantumania, not that I think it would have helped already what was already there for Kang.
Yeah, but as we move on, from this film, again, this was the first, but wasn't the last of heavy hitters this year, because as some may fall, others may rise. And with this film, I felt this was a feel-good movie. And again, I think one of the more decent trilogies, superhero trilogy out there, which is Guardians of the Galaxy. I was not expecting Guardians of the Galaxy to be as good as it was. I actually like this one better than the second one, in my opinion. No issues with the second one, but I felt like, to me, this was a really good conclusion to a third film, which usually third movies and franchises don't really do well. And it was a feel good movie. It was sad, heartfelt, and it actually had great character development and wrapping up these obscure characters that on paper would have never worked, right, from the beginning, literally 10 years ago. If you guys remember, Guardians of the Galaxy came out in 2014, and here we are in 2024. 10 years ago when we got introduced to these characters.
And it's crazy to think that back then, everyone thought that that was going to be a flop. That because these were characters that literally, unless you were a comic book reader, nobody knew that it was going to be a flop. Yet, it turned out to be one of the greatest films. Then the sequel, while enjoyable, again, still a great film. And then this was a spectacular ending.
Right. And again, this is, and what James Gunn we trust, there had not been one single film, even with the second Guardians, which I really didn't like. I had issues when I first watched it, but it was more like, it wasn't bad. But I just preferred the other ones more than the second one. But it still had some good moments in there. But with James Gunn, there's not been a single film that he made that I felt that it was bad or horrible. So, which is why I have faith when he goes into DC that we can start with a clean slate and with fresh on his mind and everything. But yeah, he wrapped up his story. Mind you, getting to this project was not easy. He was fired, then he was rehired, and then he got stolen by DC. And then he got made that movie to come back to finish this. And now he came back to DC to run the whole damn thing. So it's been a whole roller coaster. But again, that's what happens when when you are an icon and when you are talented, and so people want you in the midst of adversity. And hopefully, other people who are in current situations right now, they can bounce back too. James Gunn did it, so can he. And but yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, I like the character arc with Rocket. The visual effects in this film was amazing. The opening shot, seeing Rocket's face in this film and everything, and also kind of dealing with the aspect of family. And again, these people weren't. They all had their demons personally in their lives and stuff, and then you actually get the backstory of Rocket Raccoon in a more heartfelt way, but a more understanding why this person had this very tough exterior because he's just hiding the person he is inside. And I felt it was a great art. Very powerful villain, and I think one of the best villains of this year in Marvel actually was really the High Evolutionary, and people saw, hey, we need another man in purple to replace Kang or something. High Evolutionary, who did a fantastic job playing a more just pure evil, like you hate this person, but yet he definitely was conveying his scenes very well. And but I think again he was a very more compelling, more Shakespearean villain. But I think this was a great villain attached to Rocket Raccoon and what he did, to him and stuff like that. But experimenting on animals and stuff like that. So there was a something where everybody, the fan base, relatable, could like say we don't like this character, but we still love him because he did a great performance. And also wrapping up the character arcs of the team. This is the last time we're going to see all these people together. Contracts are ending and everything like that. So. But yeah, these people had a very good ride. A lot of these characters, have died, came back, have had, very traumatic experience in the last 10 years of them in the Marvel universe and stuff. But then they grow together as a family. I was really surprised that they made me actually care about Mantis, a lot more in the third movie. And shout out to the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special that added to as well. I thought this was a very, very powerful scene and team up and really good conclusion of this weird family, I should say. But J. King, what do you think?
Yeah, again, similar thoughts. It's just I've loved the Guardians from day one, and this third film was just everything that I was hoping for. When it comes to a conclusion, it was perfect for every character. They send them off. They didn't kill any of them, which again, there was like death flags all over this film, but they didn't kill a single one of these characters, not even the villain. If you saw that deleted scene, it's like no one died. They all got the chance to have their happy ending and move forward. And even if we do see some of these characters again, especially the likes of Star-Lord, the story of James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy has ended. Even if there could be a Guardians group later on, which again, there's enough cosmic characters out there to do that, especially some that haven't been introduced yet. And I know a certain person in this chat is really clamoring for them to just do already. Even with that, this group who we have come to love through Guardians Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3, their story is over. And it was great. You can look at pretty much like the Guardians outside of Loki probably had some of the best stories within the MCU, from the first one to the second one to their appearances in Infinity War and Endgame, and even their brief appearance in Love and Thunder to the holiday special and to this. You love all these characters. You connect with all these characters. And again, that's a testament to how these characters were done and how James Gunn made this story matter. Like, again, as I said, people have been wondering why on earth some of these stories mattered. No one questioned it with this third film.
Right. Yeah, I do agree that they they didn't really this film got the benefit of the doubt. And honestly, if we weren't in the current time of Marvel, I think we all financially could have said this film would have made $1 billion easily if it came out like around 2018, 2019, 20, like during the height of Marvel, because it would have been given now, but now it's like, hey, the brand kind of got devalued and to a point where people were like, oh, I don't know if this is going to be good, but it's like, no, this was a good one, but it was decent success for most part, actually breaking, somewhat was profitable in this third installment and everything. Definitely was not a box office failure at all. But yeah, again, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was good in my books. It was the best Marvel film aside from Spider-Verse. To me, I had this year. And again, I keep replaying the song Dog Days Are Over all the time in my head. And hey, listen, if I'm replaying your soundtrack in your movie, that's a good sign, just to let you know. But yeah, and it's bittersweet with these characters. But again, we're going to see some of these people come back very, very soon in one form or another. But yeah, what is your guys' thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy? Let us know in the comment section down below. Let us know your thoughts. All right, now going into the realm of Disney Plus. And once we go down, we go up, and then once we go up, we go right back down again. I think, and I'm not holding back to this. Gloves off for come from this. Before I even get to it, let me just pull this up. I'm a big fan of these characters. I'm a big fan of Nick Fury. I'm a fan of of comics and stuff. And one of the biggest storylines I wanted to when they ever made Avengers was that they got to do a Secret Invasion storyline. We all remember this famous comic book series. This one of the greatest comic book storylines of all time. One big crossover event. It crossed over the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, all of them, right? This comic book, right? This comic book issue, right? And this crossed over many different titles and stuff. And then we find out, they're making it to a show, but it's going to be Nick Fury's show. Oh, okay, I guess. And let's just see how it goes. Let's just see how it goes. It is a more like an Avengers type storyline, but hey, let's just see how it goes. And I can cold-heartedly say I have never witnessed a show, or whether a movie or show, destroy a big jewel of a comic book storyline than I saw them destroy Secret Invasion. And after this show, I was in all forms, fashion. Kevin Feige is right in front of me. I will tell him this straight to his face.
I am sick. I am sick of your shit. And when I'm not sick, I'm tired. I am sick and tired.
I will not hold back, because let me get, and then I'm gonna troll. This is for Jay King here. I know it's gonna piss him off, because again they done a lot of things that really pissed me off here in terms of the writing. But I don't know if I'll ever forgive Marvel for doing this. Let me give you the full screen, y'all. Y'all see this? Y'all see this?
You serious?
I'm serious. Nah. Yeah. Fury deserved better. The Black Man deserves better than this. I think whether it could have been a Captain Marvel sequel, Captain Marvel, Secret Invasion, just like Captain America, Civil War. They could have done something like that, goddamn. I don't I'll be fine with that. But before I get into it, Jay King, get out the chat. Marcus, leave him alone. But yeah. What is your thoughts, Jay King? And please be honest. Be honest.
I don't think I can bear to narrate what may happen next.
What? What are we talking about? Yo, what, are you scared?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Oh, I'm not scared, okay? I just know this one is a very, very sensitive topic. Oh, God. Yeah, okay, look. There are some things about the series that... Don't ask what that was, Blackwing. Don't ask. There are some things that I was okay with in the series. But I will say that in terms of the content that came out this year, this was my least favorite. It's not that you couldn't do a spy-like story with the Secret Invasion stuff. And again, as I said, people had expectations, especially with a big comic crossover like this. Especially with a very big storyline that pretty much brought in every single part of the Marvel Universe outside of the space. No. It had pretty much every single person in the Marvel Universe in this comic. And I'm not saying you couldn't do a spy-like story with it. It's just there's a difference between adapting in your own sense of a storyline and then deviating from the original source material in a way that this doesn't even resemble even a fraction of the original story. And again, I'm not saying this couldn't be a Nick Fury-centered story or a spy-like story, because especially with the likes of Who Can You Trust, yeah, like that would fit along with spy. It's just that there was a lot that should not have happened within this series. There is a lot that should not have happened with certain characters. Maria Hill, killed off. Ben Mendelsohn, I can't remember, but Ben Mendelsohn's character, his Skrull like leader, died. That should not have happened. Shut up, Grey Pill. The likes of like Super Skrulls and the way that some of them went should not have happened. At the beginning, okay, understandable, especially since we hadn't introduced Fantastic Four yet.
Power.
Stop. I understand that some of the stuff they did with the Super Skrull, especially since we haven't introduced the Fantastic Four yet, because if we did introduce the Fantastic Four, then 100% it would have been those powers. So I get it, but the way that ending fight went. Yeah, again, there's a lot in this series that shouldn't have happened. Again, some scenes I liked, some conversations I liked, and some characters I did. But just the way you can basically describe this series, a lot of stuff should not have happened. Not that you couldn't have a spy story of Secret Invasion, just a lot shouldn't of what did happen should not have happened. And a lot that didn't happen maybe would have helped this series. As much as I like seeing Rhodey back, there are other characters that they could have had come in for an episode or two. Instead of having, and I'm not even mad at, Nick with some of the stuff. I understand that there's a lot that should not have happened. But this Nick Fury nowhere resembled the Nick Fury that we had seen in previous movies and even in other shows and even in other universes like What If. To the fact that when we next see him in the Marvels, when we get to that is Nick Fury as we remember. This Nick Fury, while having some of those qualities, is like, again, it's weird. As I'm just gonna say, and I'm gonna end it right here. There's a lot of things that are likable, but for the most part, there's a lot of things that should not have happened. I will say
Yeah.
villain I liked, but other than that, there's a lot of stuff that should not have happened.
Mm. Yeah, no. Listen, you made some very good points. I mean, I said this. I enjoyed Nick Fury in this than 6 episodes, and I enjoyed Nick Fury in the Marvels than 6 episodes of him in Secret Invasion. I said I was saying something because he was actually Nick Fury. Yeah, and again, I know. And I don't know if you can redeem his character at all. If the character need to be redeemed, and just like, hey, did that storyline happen? Okay, I mean, he was an icon from day one, right?
Mhm.
And the fact that we just completely disregard this entire storyline just for the sake of putting this title out there. But and then here's the thing: that's the biggest thing for me. You already have the Fantastic Four coming. You have the Fantastic Four coming. For those you guys do not know, the Fantastic Four is very tied to the Secret Invasion storyline. They're very tied to the Skrulls, which is an alien shape-shifting race.
Yeah,
They are
more so they are more tied. Like, it's not just that they're tied to Secret Invasion, because really Reed was the one who had like the most focus in that, but more so that they're one of the first groups that dealt with the Skrulls in the comics. They're practically the one that had the most influence, especially when it comes to Super Skrull, the Kree Skrull War. Like, outside of characters like Captain Marvel, they are probably the most important connection to the Skrulls. And I mean, again, we hadn't introduced them yet, and the only introduction we had for them before was Captain Marvel / their small little appearance in Far From Home and WandaVision. And again, I get it. We hadn't introduced the first family yet, but again, there are other ways that,
Yeah, well, because here's the thing, like, you already have the Fantastic Four. Why? It's like, could you just wait to have this storyline and actually have them fully incorporated so you can do Super Skrulls? It's not like, do we actually needed to have the Secret Invasion storyline now? Even after watching the Marvels, do we really need it now? And,
Right.
I'm like, I said no because, again, like, that's an Avengers level movie. Mind you, we're in the need of Avengers movie right now. And no, I'm not talking about King Dynasty. I'm not talking about Secret Wars. We need to have a moment in the Avengers in MC right now where we can establish who the Avengers are, what they're doing, who's part of the team, etc., and who the dynamics of the leader and XYZ is. Because right now we don't know, and that caused that much of the disarray to a point where we lost the structure of the MCU, actually knowing who's the actual characters we're following. We were following Iron Man's arc. We're following Captain America's arc. We're following the arc of Thor. Even then, as slowly as there's a peak that's going, as a pyramid that was going on top and slowly descending with these secondary characters, even with Guardians of the Galaxy and so whatever. They were all connecting to the point of actually driving this storyline forward. Right now,
and here's the thing: it's like, as you're saying, like, maybe it shouldn't have been a series. Maybe this should have been like the next Avengers film before they dealt with Kang. Like, I would have been perfectly fine with Avengers 5 being like a secret invasion, and especially since thinking about how things were in the beginning of Phase 4, it could have worked, especially with legacy characters and newer versions of the characters we lost coming in. That could have been the perfect opportunity to have them doubt if they are perfect to be the Avengers, and by the end they're like, yeah, fuck, we are the Avengers. We can take care of things with the old ones gone. And they do that by proving it against Skrulls that can maybe get in their heads by, the same shit they did in Captain Marvel, plus posing as the heroes we lost. Imagine if we had Tony, a Skrull Tony, like putting doubt into Peter, or a Skrull Steve putting doubt into Sam. And then they're like, yeah, we are the Avengers. We can do this, move forward. And so that way they're ready to face Kang. It's sort of like a Civil War between Infinity War kind of thing, where you have something that shakes up the dynamic. Sort of that kind of thing. But that could have been what it was.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, like, this is fan made, by the way, y'all. But like, yeah, this could have been your next Avengers movie, right? And yes, we could prolong it, Secret Wars, or and King Dynasty just a little bit, whatever. And mind you, even though King Dynasty is not even the name of the next Avengers movie now, because of Jonathan Majors. So hey, who knows what we call it? Avengers: Secret Wars Part 1. But regardless of it, I just say, to me, I have never seen a storyline that's been butchered so much, and a huge opportunity could have done, incorporate many different characters. Hell, you want to talk about agenda? There's a lot of female characters in the Secret Invasion storyline, like Elektra, like, that storyline. If you guys read the comics and stuff, there was many opportunities they could have done to actually put new characters from low tier to high tier, street level, galactic, whatever, and incorporate it before we get to the main big crossover film. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I just never seen a film that was this butchered. Yeah, Ashley, thank you, Frat. By the way,
Yeah,
Founders.
and again, yes, Jessica Drew has not been introduced in the MCU, even though she was in Spider-Verse. But again, you could have introduced her in there. And again, there are a lot of characters that you could have introduced / bring in the ones from other films and even the shows that maybe not everyone has seen, but at least give them a taste of what they're missing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But yeah.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, but shout out to Secret Invasion. In other words, I had my grievances and stuff respectfully with that, but again, all I have with Secret Invasion specifically,
emotional damage.
Yeah,
and that's another thing when it comes to many of these things that we're going to talk about. It's like we have a lot of problems, but what's done is done. It already happened. It already came out either in theaters or on Disney Plus, so it's already come to pass. Now it's just, what do we do now?
Right. Yep. Yeah. No. But again, as we go low, then next thing we go high, because then we can talk about something that's actually really good. Loki. Now, I actually had some conflicting feelings with Loki season 2 at the end. Obviously, I called you. God know how I felt about it. Like, is this shit over? Does Loki season 3? I don't know how I feel about this, right? But regardless of it, the writing this show is great, and the writer of season 1 of Loki is going to be directing or going to be writing the next 2 Avengers films and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I thought that this is just a well-rounded character that they kind of continue on to do with this arc in the last almost 10 plus years and stuff. And again, redemption, repentance is a hell of a thing, but yet we actually seen this fully with this character. But now, again, I would like for them to connect to the movies in some way, which I hope they will. But we'll see how this.
I mean, there is hope. I mean, they connected it to the last thing we're going to talk about, so there is hope of that.
Right, again, but this is the part I'm talking about. You give me good end credit scenes, you're not going to pay off until whatever or never. That's how it is right now, currently with Marvel right now. Is that I don't trust your end credit scenes anymore, because either it's just there for make believe, or for me to forget the mediocre movie I just watched, and then say, oh, that was a great movie because I love the end credit scene. No, doesn't work anymore for me. But yeah, I thought this was a great, written scene. And definitely the irony, he is, I am Loki of Asgard, and I'm burdened with glorious purpose. And great, and the best scenes in this show, aside really from any action, is the dialogue, right? Now some people, if you're not invested into these characters, you might find it's boring. I don't blame you. But again, for me, I felt I was intrigued with this. It was smart writing, even though I know people are not going to be confused. But even then, I thought for the logic of the film, which is I think was a negative for me, because even then I was getting certain things. Again, me, J King, you, Blackwing, Gray Pill, whatever, we are the encyclopedias of our family, meaning that, hey, when my wife watches something, she's confused about, comic book stuff, wherever in a movie, she asks me, hey, babe, hey, who is this character? Oh, no, this is him from, from the Nihilus run, and all stuff like that. Like, oh, okay. Well, who's this person? That's Adam Warlock from, Infinity War comic book, stuff like that. Like, I can say that. Oh, why does Spider-Man got a black suit? Oh, yeah, that's from Secret Wars back in 1988 when he gets in the Secret Wars comic book. But Venom wasn't created until 1991 when Todd McFarlane created the character. Anyway, so yeah, see, bars. But yes, but when you confuse me, there's a problem. And the logic in this film, or at least in this series, was getting to a point of, okay, I'm staying with you, but then I'm like, now you're losing me. But even then, I'm supposed to like it because I know quality is good. But at the same time, I'm like, how do we jump from this all the way to him holding the vines of the multiverse together? That's to me where I find where I'm like, yo, like where are we going with this franchise? But hey, aside from that, I think it was a good conclusion. I don't see how you can move forward with Loki aside from bringing him in Secret Wars, and also wrapping the Kang storyline. It's over. Like at least what they're saying, and that Loki's just basically be burdened to stay on this throne, and he created them. Now become Loki, the god of stories now, and but yeah, I don't know. But J King, what's your thoughts on the show?
I mean, I how do I say this? I enjoyed the show. And again, this is by far probably taken the place of my number one Disney Plus Marvel series. And one of my favorite things Marvel has done in recent years. Because yes, some people are going to say it was repetitive to try and give him a hero story again when he had a conclusion in Infinity War. But this kind of not takes away, but kind of elevates and even exceeds that character moment for him within phase 1 through 3. And also, it's just the way that this whole season went. Season 2 coming off of season 1. If you weren't invested by season 1, then I can't blame you for not giving a crap about Mobius or B-15 or Casey or even this version of Loki. But if you were invested, if you actually don't try to think too hard about how certain things work, because again, I'm somebody that reads comic books. Things and explanations change on a dime. All right. So this is not new for me for certain things to change. As long as I can still, for the most part, understand it, I'm good. All right. So when it comes to the technical know-how of how these certain things works, I'm not trying to think about how temporal radiation or how, the slice of key lime pie in the back in there, or how, this time travel machine that is so advanced in the future that it took somebody almost 2 years to recreate. I'm not trying to think about that. All I cared about was just, one, that it's not going to break my brain, and two, that if I'm already invested in these characters, then they're going to keep that investment, and any new characters that are introduced are going to catch my investment. And I can perfectly say I care about every single one of these characters that we got within these first 2 seasons of this show, and I perfectly love what they did with Loki's arc. Again, this man is probably the person with the most consistently great arc in the MCU, going from villain to straight up god of stories, holding the multiverse together in his hands for the foreseeable future. Again, we'll 100% see this character again at some point. At some point. We even teased him recently. But for me, this was a perfect conclusion for now for his story. And again, I just love the series. There's a lot that I really, really enjoyed about it, that it kept my attention from the beginning of this second season to the end of the second season, that I had a smile on my face with the way it ended. it was a bittersweet smile, but it was still a smile, and I still did not feel like my time was wasted.
Mhm. Yeah, you're right. And again, whether the future of his character, whatever going to be in the MCU, again, I don't think it's the last time we're going to see him. I honestly don't, but I need to see him again because I just need this type of storytelling be wrapped in the movies, so at least have some sense of structure, in my opinion. Again, I just think because half the people not watching the show, like, oh, is it 20 or 30% of viewers dropped from season 1 to season 2? Like,
Mhm.
I mean,
And that's nothing to do with the show. It's just more people's investment.
but again, my point is that if people's investment is going down, it's like, okay, whether the show is good or not, whatever, you already lost them before you even started, right? Because again, I think that if you're not already connecting these shows and these Disney Plus shows to these movies in the right way, then it's like it's becoming unnecessary homework, and it's hurting your movie because I watch your Disney Plus shows. So when you're breaking damn logic in your movies, I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't add up in what you did in Loki and WandaVision. Like, what now? We're just creating freaking logic from the back of our heads now. Why didn't you watch this show? Nick Fury, where's your wife? I keep saying that. Where's your damn wife? Like, seriously, we went through all the Marvels and stuff, and I seen that black woman anywhere.
I mean, she did say she was only going to be up there for a little bit, then go back to Earth.
Nah.
Emotional damage.
Nah. Matter of fact, I got a clip Cat Williams stuff. Your affinity for losers amazes me, J. King. Do you know what the interview Cat Williams? Did you see the interview with Cat Williams?
Play the clip and I might remember.
I don't have the clip with me. Whatever. But the Cat Williams coming and talking to Shannon Sharp. Watch it. 2 hours. And you're sunk into this. I'm telling you, it's great content. It's great content. He talks about Jonathan Majors, he talks about Marvel and stuff like that, but like he's getting everybody. He's getting everybody. 2 hours. 2 hours that conversation, but he dropping gems. He's like, Shannon, your affinity for losers, being around losers amazes me. Like, hey, he's like, I don't know why liars lie. The truth doesn't have to be afraid of itself. It's just like he's dropping gems and stuff. But yeah, it's what was it? My wife. But yeah,
no. You know why she kicked him out? You can play the sick of the clip. You know why she kicked him out?
Why?
Because she is. What? No, not that clip.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought plot armor. I guess, right?
No,
right.
no. Because she is sick of his.
What?
I am sick. I am sick of your shit. And when I'm not sick, I'm tired. I am sick and tired.
Yeah. Gotcha.
The joke's run its course. All right.
Gotcha. No, but yeah. But anyway, I thought again, Loki has some great, performances in that show. But I hope again we hopefully continue that quality in the films. And fortunately, it does not continue with this next film. The last Marvel movie of the year, speaking of Marvel movies, is actually The Marvels. Let me get this. Let me get this picture here. The Marvels, y'all. Yeah. If you watch it, make sure you hit the subscribe button, comment, like, and share. Make sure you share to somebody watching or so. And get the likes up. Thank you. Is The Marvels, ladies and gentlemen, which, by the way, is my favorite movie of the year.
You serious?
Nah, I'm just
You
playing.
lying.
I'm playing. But yes, but a film that costs about $250 million is now reported to be the least financial Marvel movie in history, aside from The Incredible Hulk. Now, there's many factors ahead of it that the reason why this film is the way it is and stuff. Now, again, I find this film way more entertaining. I've seen this movie now 3 times now, which is 3 times more than I saw the first Captain Marvel movie. So, hey, so I saw this film twice in theaters, one for free, the other with my wife. She called me on my BS with this film. She actually let me know, hey, I showed my in-laws and family that they liked it, and stuff. But it doesn't matter what they like. It doesn't matter what my wife likes. What matters, what box office tells you. Box office tells you that this was a former content creator used to say this back in his glory days. This is a big piece of trash. Yes. But yeah. Sorry. But I will say this. These 2 women right here, the one to the left, one to the right, I love these characters. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. And I will defend these characters to the end of the days. These are very good characters, very good actresses, and I love both of them. Brie Larson, I'm sorry, you're just not it, for me. I just have not gravitated for your character. But again, I'm going to go back to this. Iman Vellani is one of the greatest additions of the MCU post-Endgame. Period. Right? If you think that Iman Vellani is annoying, whatever, you are freaking insane. And I call you hypocrites when you took almost 5 or 7 years of oh, Mr. Stark, we gotta go, Mr. Stark, Ned, we gotta go, go, Mr. Stark. Oh my God, this is awesome. Y'all took that shit, but y'all complain now when it's the Pakistani girl doing it, when that's literally her freaking character. Fuck all of y'all. But yes, you like that, J. King? You like that?
No, what's funny is you're frozen right now.
I don't care. Hold on. At least you can hear me now. But yeah, I said what I said, y'all. But with that, but anyway, yeah, I just hate the fact that the story that they were in this movie, like, to me, pissed me off because there were some good things in there. Horrible villain. And I think a waste of these characters, what they could be, to have them team up and stuff. Now, again, I think the character choices in this film I did not like, but again, this to me felt more like Miss Marvel season 2. And I'm saying this, and I said it again. If Miss Marvel and Monica Rambeau was not in this movie would be unwatchable for me. For real. It really would have. It was a testament that I probably just want to have the other Captain Marvel, because Monica Rambeau was Captain Marvel in the comics. Just have her be Captain Marvel. And because listen, you already served us 2 black women being more powerful or cooler Captain Marvels than the white woman. Just do it already. Like, goddamn, like, seriously. But anyway, J. King, take the mic.
I'm gonna say there are some things I'm gonna repeat from when we had talked about this film before back in November. I already knew that there was a lot of people who did not give a flying F about this film even before the first trailer. Y'all know who you are on that side of the fandom. And I know that there were a lot of people that were only looking forward to seeing Nick Fury being not what he was in Secret Invasion, but more importantly, seeing the return of Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan. I was definitely one of those people that was very much looking forward to seeing, you know, Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan return. Most especially Kamala Khan, because she is just one of my favorite characters of the last decade, and I really love what Amon has done with this character and just Amon as an actress in general. And again, as I said, there is a lot to like about this film, and it is 100% more enjoyable than the first Captain Marvel film. Now, I'm someone that doesn't even mind that film as much as, again, a certain other side of the fandom does. I actually thought it was okay and decent, but this one I liked a lot more. Yes, it has a lot of problems. Even though it is one of the shortest Marvel films out there, there is a lot that could have been done. And honestly, I feel like if things were shifted, if you had a better storyline and you had a lot more stuff to do with your villain, I wouldn't have mind if this film was a little bit longer. Again, there are a lot of things that you can like. Kamala and her family coming straight from Miss Marvel, they're just as enjoyable as in this movie as they were in that series. Monica Rambeau, a huge highlight of this film. Nick Fury acting like freaking Nick Fury instead of whatever the heck he was in Secret Invasion. And for the most part, this movie was very vibrant and it was very colorful. But again, there are a lot of things that did not work for this film. Villain Darven could have been much better, especially if you're reintroducing like a new executioner. There's a different way you could have done this. I know that only comic book fans are going to know what I'm about to talk about, but many comic book fans will know that the current executioner is actually Carol's sister. You could have actually had there be a sister plot line in this film of her facing off against one while bonding with two other characters that would have been more so sisters to her. You could have had something like that. And even without that, just better writing for the character in general is something that was needed. I understand, and also I understand one thing you're going to bring up is that musical number. The only reason they should not have made it a musical. They should have kept it what they were in the comics, which was just rhyming. I understand that it was a way to get them their new outfits, which honestly I like. I like all of them. But there could have been a better way at that, especially if you have Nick Fury on speed dial and Valkyrie on speed dial. But yeah, again, there's a lot that there is to like. And again, with the end credits, I understand you don't trust them, but I honestly found that really enjoyable, especially for what we got coming this year. But again, a film that, in my opinion, is not as bad as many people are going to try and make it up to be, especially for those people that haven't seen it yet. And if you haven't seen it yet, it's coming on digital on the 16th of this month. So hey, there you go. But it's a film with problems behind the scenes and on screen, but it's still very much enjoyable. Especially this one thing Blackwing is saying when Nick Fury was telling his brother keep praying. I did laugh at that scene a lot.
Yeah, I thought. Listen, there are moments I laughed in this movie. I'm not saying again. There's other
especially the Nick Fury humor. No more touching shit.
I almost walked out. I went and I saw this movie for free, and I was like, I was hitting my head. Okay, can you see me? Can you see me?
You're still frozen.
Okay, all right. But like when I kept just I was sitting in the theater next to Sam and Lucas and stuff. In the back, I would just hit my head like this. In the back, it's just like because this, and then her dress just turned into Tinkerbell and Cinderella and mess. I was just like, what we doing?
Monica said it the best when she saw that dress. She said, "What the hell?"
Right. I was just like, okay, this is what, and it's like, I literally took me out. It's just like, and it's like, people are like, no, I like that. Like, no, that's not how, this is not Disney. And I'm like, but it is Disney. Fuck out of here.
And again, as I say, in the comics, they rhyme. They don't sing. This was Disney's or someone's decision to make it singing.
Nah. But anyway. Okay. And finally, if we get to the last property before we end this live stream. Actually, going to a very surprising, I felt decent, watch, daily, and actually felt was better than the previous season. That is What If season 2. Right. So what if I'll say, let me get this here. Get the Marvel Studios What If season 2. So again, this is the animated series or the anthology series, I guess you can call it, that basically is taking these one-off stories and saying, what if this character became Captain America? What happened if Hela basically showed up with the 10 rings and everything? And what if the Avengers reform in the 1986? Like what if the Avengers in 1602 or whatever? That to me, I felt like these were very cool concepts, and I actually find very entertaining. Now, I did have some issues, obviously, but I gotta say first, let me start off with good. I did like this team up here in the 1980s, 80s, and everything. It was
But
cool.
I could see more of that team.
Right. Actually, that I would like a flashback scene if possible. But hey, but I really like the scene and the concept of it. We do get more of Captain Carter, which we'll get into that later. We get of the Sakaar episode, which was cut off from season 1, got in season 2 here. But you see Nebula. What if Nebula joined the Nova Corps? You see what if Happy saved Christmas, right?
Yeah, that was my least favorite one. I mean, I get it was basically just Die Hard, but it was way too much. Just basically Die Hard. And again, the way that it played out, this could have just been in the main timeline of the MCU and just a story we never knew about.
Right. And but again, I thought, this is sad, y'all. I'm getting old. My knees hurt.
No. If you yawn or sneeze now, it's just gonna be that line from Fast X. I'm just allergic to your bullshit.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, now I said this to you and I called you. It's like when I watched the episode, especially the Nova, What If Nebula joined the Nova Corps, it was giving Blade Runner. I think that was the whole tension of it. But my thing was, why is it the fact that Marvel never made a movie about Nova? And I thought that was a missed opportunity. You established Nova Corps, and now it's like you bring them back. It's like, oh well, we don't care anymore. Like we will not care anymore. And I don't know. I just did think that was a missed opportunity for them to have another character, especially having the Sam Alexander Nova, and you have had your first Mexican superhero before Blue Beetle, but not. But,
and the thing is, it's not that a Nova movie can't still work if they were to make one in the next couple of years. It's just that at the point right now in Marvel, would people care?
No, because I believe you missed your window. Honestly.
Well, I mean, the window's still there, either for Richard or Sam, especially for Sam, given nowadays. But yeah,
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's not connected to Guardians, which could have been more of your Guardians spinoff series, film series, because the fact that Nova Corps was heavily, incorporated in the first film of Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that just would have been, the perfect direction. Whether it even was post Endgames, at least just have that direction going out there. But now it's like, who cares at this point? It just you haven't really addressed it. It's off on this off on its basically loose end storyline, which they try to reconnect. And it's like it wouldn't make sense. It's almost like the same thing with Hulk having Scar come in a family freaking reunion during She-Hulk. It's like, where the hell you been and stuff like that, right? So yeah, I just felt like that personally. That was a missed opportunity in my opinion. But and I can't also forget, Captain. We get introduced to new characters in this series. Kahori, who was an Indian character, with power as
and MCU exclusive. She was never appeared in the comics before. This is an entirely original story that the Mohawk tribe helped out with in this, and also helped out with Echo, by the way. But yeah, they helped out with this story, and yeah, I honestly really like Kahorti. I just got to say that.
Yeah. But yeah, we see basically a combination of Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and Black Widow, but in terms of Black Widow, but better.
Yeah. Yeah, we can agree. We very much liked this a lot more than the Black Widow movie.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, so they're like first season. Like, yeah, I like, you know, but I think this season was better. Yeah, but I got the beer to prove it. But anyway, but no, I thought Kiori was a good addition and stuff like that. But whether it received live action or not, we see Supreme Strange with his arc and storyline and stuff. But you know, again, I did have issues with the finale for only a few reasons, but
let me guess. It's because of the fact that they made Strange a villain again.
Oh no. It's just the fact that, you know, the same thing that you do. This is how I know you can write female characters very well. When you have to give them every freaking damn time in the whole damn universe. Listen, guys.
Okay, look. I'd much rather see this than Secret Invasion, okay?
You serious?
I mean, she got the powers of Hela. She got the powers of this sword from Hulk, who has Mjolnir or whatever. You have Thor's hammer. You have the 10 rings. You have all the freaking Infinity Stones. You got your vibranium shield. You got what else? Are you missing something? I don't know.
There was just a lot of stuff like laying around. And again, I get it. You know, when I didn't really wince when she took Killmonger's Infinity armor, because I mean, like, you know, that didn't really get to me. But this, I'll say, it didn't take me out, but it was just Blackwing. This was the finale. Basically, all of the people Strange captured gave them their stuff to help take on Strange. And yeah, basically they're just, and again, I think what would have worked better if it was just lying on the ground and they were just picking them up instead of wielding them all at once. Like if they were flung to one area, then grabbed Hela's horns, or flung to one area and grabbed the hammer. Again, I didn't wince when Captain Carter put on the Infinity armor, because it's like, hey, look, we've seen that go from Ultron Infinity to Killmonger, so I don't mind it going to Carter. I actually thought it looked pretty fine. But this, I can understand that this would be a moment that took people out. It's not as bad as Secret Invasion.
Oh, no, it wasn't as bad. It's just more of like, okay, this is what we're doing now. Okay.
Again, like the concept, I think the concept would have worked better if they didn't pick them all up at once. Instead, it's like, again, as I said, Captain Carter gets flung one place and Hela's horns are right there. Put that on, boom, take it off. Thor's hammer's right there. Kahorti picks that up. Boom, take it. Like if they picked it up one by one, like weapons laid out in an arena kind of thing.
Yeah. I just felt like, man, it feels like a bunch of toys I was playing when I was a kid. It's like, hey, let's just add all these people together. And I know that basically what it looked like. Like, you know what? And here's the thing. I didn't say nothing. But I just like, you know what? I'm watching this thing, the damn airport. Let me just shut the fuck, you know, watch this stuff, you know. Let me just experience what it is when we're watching, you know. And I know people on Twitter can be mad, you know. You got two of these girls, you know, girls are taking this guy again, and stuff like that. So yeah, I get it. But why want to carry every major item and artifact in this line? Yeah, I was like every freaking one, mind you. It's not big enough the fact that you have the Infinity Stones. Like, no. And you can touch them. And, you know, it just whatever. Yeah, but it was actually, listen, the ending fight was pretty good. Like, you know, you'd see different iterations of characters and stuff, but it was just on steroids, you know, honestly. Even to a point where it was actually Killmonger who actually snapped Thanos away. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was fun. I like that. again, there's a lot to really like with this finale. I understand that might be there's two things that I've seen people debate. It's that moment and what they did was strange in this finale. In terms of the first thing, again, I feel like if they laid it out in a better way, people wouldn't be up in arms about this. Because again, Infinity Carter, perfectly fine. But the rest of the stuff, it should have been laid out a bit better. I don't hate it, but yeah. And then in terms of course, this is something we also got to talk about, how they handled Strange. A lot of people are going to be like, bro, you're just redoing his episode, but not as good as his episode. And to that I say, did y'all really think this man got over his grief? By the end of his episode, while he wanted to sacrifice himself to undo what he did, he couldn't undo it, nor could the Watcher save him from doing that. And while, yes, he came to help with the whole Guardians of the Multiverse stuff, that didn't just ultimately mean that he was over his grief. He just had something else to focus on and new friends to call upon. Other than that, this man still had his entire universe destroyed, and it was by his hands. That grief is not something that goes away. It's a similar thing with Wanda from WandaVision to Multiverse of Madness. Sometimes grief does not go away easily. Sometimes it'll come back, and sometimes it'll stay in the back of your head. But Strange basically went through his whole getting over grief arc in this finale. And that's why I don't mind him becoming villain again. Hell, they even manifested his grief into a literal monster of all the monsters he sucked in, in his episode. So it's like, I don't mind it. I thought that it was a good way to end something that was kind of left up in the air from season 1.
Yeah, like, I mean, it wasn't that big of a shift for me. Cause again, that was the least of my concerns of this episode. I mean, because when I saw that, I was like, okay, that's a big, switch. But I just didn't think of it initially. I just thought really it was just a power up scene where I'm like, okay, yeah, this is just adding on top of it. Like you literally have everything. The fact of him, okay, yeah, he was able to rebuild his universe, but then he couldn't live to see it. I'm like, that's just the irony of it. But again, and then we get the tease at the end of Watcher. And here's the thing, Captain Carter is again, it's been in 3 episodes at this point, right? They or 3 or 4 episodes is that she's literally getting like, not saying OP as hell, but regardless of that, it just whenever they have to bring Haley Atwell back in live action for him to play that version of Captain Carter, because again, that was the part where it's like with Doctor Strange, it's like, okay, oh yeah, cool, you're building this up, you're connecting things to What If, right? And it's like, oh no, yeah,
that's a different version,
right? So I that's where I'm like, hey, we need to give her due diligence and stuff to write, storyline and stuff like that, so that we can incorporate this in the movies. But that's just my opinion on this. But yeah,
which also brings us to the ending of this series with Watcher literally, like, she's saying, I want to take the scenic route home, and Watcher's like, okay, look at this, shows him what Loki did.
Right. Which again, we're supposed to get I believe, was it What If season 2, What If season 3 is actually be coming earlier than expected.
At the end of season 2, like after season 2 concluded, they basically dropped a teaser on YouTube showing an episode dealing with Red Guardian and Bucky. Because if you noticed in the opening intro, Red Guardian is there, but we never had an episode with him. That's because they already have episodes for season 3 for the most part ready. So that means season 3 is not going to be that long from now, and we'll still get more What If episodes and still more multiversal stories of ones we've seen before and new ones. So
yeah, but I think this is hopefully the lead to Nod saying that we can get the Watcher and Captain Carter in Secret Wars.
I think this definitely says that they will definitely 100% be a part of it.
Yeah, again, because this is going to be an adaptation in some form or fashion, not directly linked to the Secret Wars storyline. I mean, definitely going to be Battle World and all that stuff. But again, I think the fact that if they're going to do this take away King Dynasty and just do it all together. We need to make this more cohesive than not. But I don't know. We gotta wait till Comic-Con to see if they're actually gonna make an Avengers film prior to this, at least set up a team. But that's just my personal opinion. If they go down that route. But again, that is the
Everything.
recap of Marvel 2023. We're going into 2024, which is going to be starting actually tomorrow. We have Echo, which is I've seen a few episodes. I haven't finished it. I was too tired, but yeah, and you guys get to able to see that tomorrow. Also, Chrysler Infinite Earth animated series is coming out tomorrow.
That's tomorrow too.
Yeah, part 1 is already out. I already have it. But
okay. All right.
Yeah. So Chrysler Infinite Earth, the animated series, I'll do a review about that. And also tomorrow is Founders Day. It's Founders Day for my fraternity. I'll be for Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. And I will be just shout out to me and Blackwing, the brothers out there. And I'll be doing a review on Instagram and stuff like that. So yep, go mob. And so yeah, and tomorrow we have some good content coming from Marvel and stuff like that. So we'll be posting our reviews on that, and we'll be back next week and going to the look ahead of 2024. And again, we have good things ahead of us for 2024 with Marvel. I will say I only see a few episodes from Echo and stuff like that. I won't give my full review, whatever, because I didn't get to see the good part because I fell asleep. Not because of the show, but because I was up late. Like I saw the book of Clarence, which, by the way, go see that movie. It's freaking hilarious. Blackwing, go see the Book of Clarence. Christians, if you love Jesus and you're black, like go see the movie. But it was great. But I was conflicted in many ways how I'm supposed to feel with this movie, which is why I gotta see it again. But this is a movie, regardless whether you believe in, you want to see it with the audience, and if you know the story of Jesus, whether you believe it or not, that's kind of the whole point. But you just a movie you need to experience in the theater, watch, and with black people specifically. Yes, and so make sure you guys go check that out. But yeah, J. Kings, you got any final words before we end the stream?
2020. Yeah, we're now in 2020. Yeah, sorry, it's weird thinking we're already in the new year, but yeah, 2023 was a very weird time in MCU history. It is good. It's gonna be looked back, and again, it's gonna be crazy. As I said earlier, it's gonna be crazy to see in a couple years people look back on this year, but not just this year, but the past 2-3 years now, since we've gotten back after the Infinity Saga, and just see how people's reactions to if people suspect if it was as bad as we all thought, or if there was just some things that maybe we didn't see. But again, this year was a very divisive one, both for the products that were produced and for the behind the scenes stuff of many things. But hopefully with one movie, that being Deadpool 3, and only a few series being Echo, the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man animated series, X-Men 97, and I think also this year Eyes of Wakanda. Hopefully with the less projects this year, it'll make people be like, okay, it'll give people a break, so that way when things do start to pick up again in the following year, maybe it'll then bring some people in and be like, damn, it's been a minute since there's been a Marvel movie, huh? It's been a real good minute. Like, instead of people, feeling like it wasn't that long ago when it was like 4 months in between No Way Home and Moon Knight, but whatever. But hopefully this will give people the time to, de-cleanse and maybe stop feeling the fatigue, or at least get over, deal with it or whatnot. It'll be a year where we're definitely looking forward to one big film, and that's this guy in the middle, who made his appearance yesterday at the Golden Globes. But yeah, this is a year that is going to be a little slow in terms of the stuff we get, but hopefully lead into better times. You know, we just got to wait and see. But I think definitely the last 3 years was definitely, you know, again, I say it. The line from that one Fantastic Four film. That's old school. Show us something new.
Yeah.
That's what people are looking for now.
Yeah. And also just give you a heads up. Sorry, I have technical difficulties. I'm just getting things situated. But the show will still go on and everything. We're almost road to 1,000 subscribers. I got interviews and stuff that are dropping later this week. I interview Ego Newdom, who's the actress from Saturday Night Live. She did the skit Lisa from Temecula with Pedro Pascal. And she's a famous actress in SNL, been for multiple seasons and stuff. She does a fantastic job. I'm able to interview her. But yeah, guys, it's award season. I'll be voting, for the Critics Association this week and stuff. So I still got to review some films from last year, which, is still content. And also going into the road, I have purposely recapped all of Last Airbender, and I'm going to be reviewing season 1, season 2, and season 3 to the road to live action Last Airbender, which is going to be coming out next month. Mm-hmm. And I'll be doing diligent episode reviews on this, and I'll be breaking all this down and everything. And leading up to Deadpool 3 this year, I'll be recapping every single X-Men film, starting from X-Men 2002 or 2001 with
2000.
Okay, I'm making sure. All right, just making sure. X-Men 2000. The first film leading up to Deadpool 3, which is coming out in July. So I got to sparse out how I'm going to do that. Maybe it might be twice a month, depending on how many movies there are. Like, 2 X-Men movies a month to review. We could make a stream about it, whatever. But yeah, we'll just go look at the road to the X-Men Marathon. Anybody's welcome, especially Blackwing and stuff. We'll be doing also a commentary this year. X-Men 97 coming out this year too, so we'll be recapping as well the original X-Men animated series as well. So, but yeah, any other content, any suggestions, guys? Please go in the comment section down below. We improve stuff in the channel and everything. Again, we're up, being more consistent. We're elevating everything. We had a good 2023 with a lot of success and stuff like that. So the show will still go on, and we're almost there. All right, guys. So I gotta get some sleep, man, working, and also an hour. It might be Founders Day, so I gotta allow my fraternity brother drinking. But I'm getting old, man. I can't do that today. I can't do that.
You are not that old.
I know, but I have a beard to show it. You know what I mean? But yeah. And but anyway, basically, thank you guys for who stopped by in comment section. You're watching the pre-recording. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, comment, like, and share. Share this to people that might not be into film, comic books, or anything like that in the world of movies and entertainment. Please holler at your boy. Send the channel over to them as we grow. Also follow my Instagram as well. I'll be posting that. I got my link tree situated on my Instagram. I get connected to my TikTok, YouTube, and my Instagram account as well. Thank you to my wife for setting it up. But yeah, guys, till next time, Jedi Mike 7 and it's Jay King. Till next time, peace. We are. Oh shit. We are.
I did, please.
Okay, we are out.
Is there anything you want the fans to know or any last thing you want to say to them before we get to see this series tonight?
This is where the fun begins.
Yeah.